And we really are, as a Star Trek saying would be, we're on maximum red alert right now for the next 7 months. Definitely there's storm clouds brewing. There's already little indicators indicating that we're heading in that direction right now. Something's going to happen. Something big's going to happen. In all my research, when Rahu is transiting Ardra, there's always something really big that happens during this time. Rahu in Ardra. This is huge news, guys. Hi, I'm Thor Sandalwood, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. This is such an important transit. When I studied this, and I went through the timeline of all the times that Rahu transited Ardra, I was simply blown away by all of the massive events that happened during this transit. Rahu typically transits a sign every 18 months, so it takes it 18 years to go through the entire 12 signs of the zodiac. We are in a very pivotal time right now. If you guys remember from some of my earlier videos, Rahu is a very karmic shadow planet. He's known as the north node of the moon in Western astrology. Rahu is an important planet of karma that's unfolding. And so right now we're going to go into specifically what this transit through Ardra means. So Rahu, it entered the sign of Gemini in March of 2019. However, as it's transiting Gemini for those next 18 months, it's actually going to transit 3 different nakshatras. Because in Vedic astrology, we not only have the 12 signs, but we also divide the 12 signs into 27 different nakshatras. So you can even get more detailed and more specific about what kind of effects a transiting planet is going to have. I cannot overstate this, guys. This is huge. Now, if we look at Vedic mythology, all the 27 nakshatras have different Vedic deities that rule them. And with Ardra, it's the god Rudra. Rudra is like the fierce form of the Lord Shiva. He is the guy that takes things down. He's the deity that destroys things. He hunts things. He basically is a kick-butt god who goes out, he can take out demons, he can do all types of things. But Rudra is really symbolic of what Ardra is all about. The Nakshatra of Ardra represents storms. It represents tragedy. It also has that symbol of the teardrop. So a lot of tragedies have happened during Ardra, whenever Rahu enters Ardra. The next 7 months, as Rahu transits Ardra, are going to be so critical. There could be massive storm clouds in all segments of the country and of the whole world. We could see big changes. Now, Rahu begins its transit in Ardra on September 27th, 2019. And then it continues through Ardra all the way to April 22nd, 2020. So there's a 7-month span there of where Rahu's going to be transiting Ardra. Now, to get you guys a little bit of a picture of what kind of events have happened in the past with this transit, let's go back 18 years ago. 18 years ago, September 11th, 2001. We all know what happened on September 11th, 2001, when terrorists hijacked 2 airliners and crashed them into the World Trade Centers. And that changed the rest of the next 18 years. Everything in the whole world has been centered around this event on 9/11, the whole war on terrorism, all of these things. All these conflicts with government and our liberties have all taken place as well. So it's a very, very treacherous time we're in. Also, I want to tell you guys, around 9/11-2001, something that people sometimes don't remember is the dot-com bubble burst about a year before, and we were in a recession. So that's something to keep in mind. I keep seeing this theme of recession come up over and over and over again. That was a pretty big recession. In the late 90s, the stock market was just jumping up really fast with all these tech stocks. And then the recession came in 2000 and into 2001, and we had the dot-com bubble burst. Then let's take a look at 18 years prior to that. I looked at a 100-year chart of all the recessions that the United States has been in. And in June of 1982, the United States economy, and that affects the whole world, was in recession. In November of 1963, Rahu was transiting Ardra, and John F. Kennedy got assassinated. That was one of those dates, just like September 11th, that anybody who was alive at the time, they remember where and when they were when they heard the news that John F. Kennedy got assassinated. These are pivotal events that affect the rest of history. Then I was going, okay, so this is pretty crazy. We have these lots of things going on whenever Rahu transits Ardra. Then we go back another 18 years before John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And we have on August 6th and August 9th of 1945, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed in those terrible tragedies with the atomic bombs. And that is the kind of explosive things that we see whenever Rahu is transiting Ardra. 18 years before 1945, I looked at October of 1926 and November of 1927, and there was another recession. This was the recession before the Great Depression that started in 1929. So we're seeing, as I go back and we study this, we're seeing certain themes pop up again. And the thing about astrology, what's great to do is you study history. You study what were the planetary placements at these times. There was a small recession back in 1926, 1927, that really was a prelude to the Great Depression a few years later down the road. Now I also want to go back to 1907. And a lot of people don't know this, and I did some research. It was in 1907, there was this thing called the Panic of 1907. There was a huge bank run that happened during that time, and it caused a lot of panic. I think the economy went down by 30%. Which is huge. And the whole panic of 1907 was a huge recession that happened, and this caused the creation of the Federal Reserve System in the year 1913, years later. So it was that pivotal event that started this whole thing, and the Federal Reserve System is still in place today. And what's interesting to note is we're seeing issues with the Federal Reserve System and the economy as we see President Trump tweeting constantly about the Federal Reserve Chairman Powell, and they're having disputes between the president and the Federal Reserve. So this theme could also be coming up in this next 7 months. So what do we see as common themes? We keep seeing that there's either some explosive events, terrorist activities, we see recessions, we even saw an assassination during all these times that Rahu transited Ardra. So this is the time that I believe we all need to be really conscious, and we really are, as a Star Trek saying would be, we're on maximum red alert right now for the next seven months. Definitely there's storm clouds brewing. That's a figurative saying, storm clouds are brewing, but Ardra represents storms. So this next 7 months might indicate, even with this early presidential race that we're seeing, will indicate what happens in November of 2020. All of what's happening right now, we're going to see the outcome. We could see a huge economic recession take place. There's already little indicators indicating that we're heading in that direction right now. Something's going to happen. Something big's going to happen. In all my research, when Rahu is transiting Ardra, there's always something really big that happens during this time. However, if we learn the lessons, what Ardra does is he clears away things that are preventing our progress so that we can continue our evolution of consciousness. So if we see a huge, say, recession come into play in the next 6 months, or some other disaster come in, really what it's giving us the opportunity to do is to restructure things to work better, to aid our consciousness in a more loving society. All these things that we encounter here at Earth School are lessons to learn and lessons to grow from. So this is a very arduous time as the transit through Ardra takes place. Very scary times we're in right now. So I just wanted to warn you guys and just tell you to keep your eyes open, keep watching the news. There might be even things like what David Wilcock is talking about more disclosure about what's been going on behind the scenes. There's been a lot of talk with David Wilcock and QAnon about this big information dump that might happen, where lots of things might be exposed to the public, things that we never knew. These kind of things could happen, and the public might be outraged by the things they hear. Just a month ago, the public was outraged when we heard about Jeffrey Epstein and all of the horrible things that he did and everybody that was involved. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We don't know all of what everybody's been doing, the elite and the global leadership. They've been involved in a lot of things, and it might be time for this stuff to be exposed during the next 7 months. So that's my message for you guys. And hopefully we're all going to make it through this together, and hopefully we'll come out better, raise our consciousness and our vibrations to a higher level as we go through this thing together. Tell me what you guys think. Comment down below. Love it, hate it. What are your opinions? What do you think could happen the next year? Just let me know down below. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in your own private reading, please email me at thor.sandalwood@gmail.com for more information, and we can arrange that for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.